What is up, ShadowZone family? This is your ShadowZone host, the ghost host with the most, Brian James. And we are here tonight for round 2 of ShadowZone. And with me always is the older than dirt, Mr. Man with the Plan, Eldon McIntyre. And of course, we have Cass with us tonight.
Hey, everybody.
So, what's going on, gentlemen?
Not much. Just being here.
Yeah, a long time no talk to you, Brian. It's only been like an hour.
I've noticed. So, we have a really interesting guest tonight, our second guest. His name is Kyle from the Sek Spirit Seekers, and they are from Kansas. He is unfortunately having a little bit of problems logging in, so you'll have to bear with us here as we figure that out in that aspect here. But while we're waiting, gentlemen, what's on the agenda?
I can't make anything for you.
Well, I guess we had Kyle was the agenda. So without Kyle here, what's our agenda, Brian? I thought you were supposed to have the backup plan. You're the man with the plan, aren't you? The host with the most, you say, right?
That's the ghost host with the most. Thank you very much.
Well, since you're the ghost host with the most, you must be the man with the plan, right?
Correctamundo, dude.
All right. So what's the topic, brother?
Well, if Kyle can't join us, I have sent out a few other invites, and hopefully they will be seen. And it's still not letting him. Dang it. Well, we can always talk about what Global's got going on right now.
Well, we could, but then again, we've got Mr. Cass over here in the spotlight. Yeah.
Turn the lights off.
So, Eldon. Eldon.
Yes, Brian.
Why don't?
Thanks, bro. That was a joke, but thank you.
Why don't we discuss what we have going on in the next few weeks?
In the next few weeks, well, we've got our investigation coming up day after tomorrow. We're looking at getting a couple of our folks down here for that. We don't know how that's going to work yet, but that's kind of in the works. Couple surprises going on. See, we'll be filming for our wow, yeah, exactly, Matt. Yeah, it's kind of what we said too, brother. So yeah, we'll be filming for our episode stuff coming up, so we'll be doing that. Once we can get that all taken care of and filmed, we can take the raw video and set it over to our editor for some final works to be done on it, and then we can get it out down to our sounds editor, and they'll be adding all that for us. So currently that's what we have coming up recently. So
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, Kyle is still trying to get on here. It's acting really janky for him for some reason.
what's up, Marcus? How's it going, buddy?
But if there is any other teams that would like to hop on, they are more than welcome to, most definitely. But I gotta say, for those of you who don't know global, because we don't really talk about global on ShadowZone very much. I've come to that realization.
We literally just did like 2 hours about it.
So for those of you that don't know anything about the global side of what we do, we pretty much took 3 teams, which would have been my team, the Spokane Ghost Crew, from Spokane.
Hello.
And we took.
What's up, Marcus?
Hey, what up, dude?
How's it going, guys?
Going good. How's it going with you, man?
Oh, I'm freaking tired. Making a pizza and then heading to bed.
Bro, you look tired.
I got off of work not too long ago.
Nice.
So, man, it's been a minute.
It really has.
Man.
So what's been new with Minnesota?
Well, we are putting out a trailer for a new episode on the 26th. The trailer or the episode's called Pine City Poltergeist. And then that full episode airs on March 12th. We have 2 more that are already filmed. We just got to put them together. What's up, Matt? And then we have like some deleted scenes from a December investigation, and season 2 will be starting soon. So lots of stuff going on. One of our members is currently in Maryland right now, showing some support with another team. So yeah, it's not really much new, but you know what? It's going.
Right on, dude. Sounds like Minnesota has got their hands full right now.
Oh, busy, because we got another case over in Buffalo, Minnesota, that we were supposed to go do a walkthrough 2 days ago. Well, the client that we're dealing with has COVID, so had to postpone that. Because this COVID likes to kick everything in the butt.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, like we have one more for season 1, and then we gotta head straight over to season 2 and get that going. We got some amazing guests gonna be in season 2 with us. I don't want to spoil too much, but I can give one away. We got Bad to the Bone Paranormal gonna be with us on one of our season 2 episodes, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
So, like, not actually virtual. We're all going to be meeting up, and we're all going to be, like, in person throughout the year. So, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And that's the one thing that I can't wait for, next summer when we go on tour.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be able to go to Minnesota and work with you guys. We're working with a bunch of different teams throughout the U.S. on our trip, and man, it's just going to be an exciting thing to be able to work next to our brothers and sisters in the paranormal world.
Absolutely.
Hey, don't forget, Cass is driving the bus.
Oh, you're all screwed.
Remind me not to get on the bus.
Good advice.
No, but seriously, all you gotta do is let me know what day you're gonna be here, and I'm sure we're gonna have something set up to go. So It's been nonstop. Last year in 2021, I jinxed it. Said 2022, we're gonna start bringing the heat. As soon as that ball dropped, man, the heat came because we are busy.
Mhm.
It is
Interesting choice of
crazy.
words.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have said nothing, man, because I am nonstop busy right now. It's crazy.
People talk to her in any kind of tone.
Somebody's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Dang
no,
it.
Brian, it's been a while since we talked. What's been new with you, other than another go to Munchkin coming?
Well,
I don't know. Whatever you want it to be.
yeah, just been doing my networking and doing the advertising and working hard with Eldon and Jason to getting global to where we want to be at this point in time.
Awesome.
And it's an everyday battle that
Oh yeah,
I thoroughly enjoy.
absolutely. And you know what? The thing about working in this field is it's not easy. People kind of look at us all like YouTubers. That's not what we are. There's a lot of work that goes into each and every episode. Even if you're not filming, there's a lot of work that goes into it because you need the paperwork to cover your butt and all this. So you know what? It's a task. It's hard sometimes.
It's definitely a work in progress. I mean, there's hours of investigating you have to do, and
Oh yeah.
you flip it over to the editing side, and
Oh man, let me tell you, the editing side is my least favorite part. We have this one camera, and it's called the IR camera, and we filmed this episode that's going to be coming out in March. We filmed that almost the whole thing with that camera. Well, I took all the SD cards because we have tons of SD cards. Once one fills up, we grab another one.
Mhm.
Well, took those SD cards and put them in my laptop, and I was going through all the videos. None of them had sound on it.
oh
So
no,
of course, my first reaction was, "Oh my God, our episode is screwed. We worked so hard for it." Well, turns out that there's this app that you have to download on your computer in order to get the sound for those videos. And in order to actually use those videos on a different platform, you got to record the videos from this app and then use them on another device or whatever. So for this episode, I have to take each scene of the episode, record it on that app, and then transfer it over to my other editing device. And that just takes way more time than what I usually like. So it sucks.
it really sucked. It's kind of like when the SGC was filming for the up and coming TV show we had going on. We spent 4 days in Colfax, Washington, and had hours upon hours of footage.
Yeah.
And fourth day, we go to drop our last little bit of evidence into the folder. And that folder says empty. We lost probably close to 50, 60 hours worth of footage.
Oh, wow.
And, we had to tell the lady from Colfax about that. And dude, she was heated.
Wow. Wow.
And
okay, so here's this. When we were on this investigation, that'll be airing in March. One of my camera, because we almost all of us have a camera, and we were using my camera for Lisa's team that had Lisa, Kendra, and somebody else on it. Well, I went to transfer some files off of that SD card so I could free up the camera so we could reuse it a little bit. And instead of transferring those files, I hit the delete button, and now I can't find them.
Hey, yep.
Oh no.
There we go.
That's why you need cloud storage.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. What I had did is I put the SD card in my computer and I kind of dragged the file over to a folder that I made on my laptop. And I thought everything was okay. And I went ahead and deleted it off of the SD card thinking, okay, now it's on my computer. I have it there now. Turns out when I deleted it from the SD card, it deleted from the computer as well.
Dude,
That sucks.
And you know what? It really sucks too because I was Team A and Lisa was Team B, and I have no footage for Team B now. So like it completely destroyed the episode.
You need Bleeding Violin Studios. Let us handle your editing woes for you.
Yep. No, but I have enough footage to actually make an episode, but it's just going to be Marcus' team, not Lisa and Marcus, you know? So,
You know, you could pad that with some footage, you know, from like old footage, and then doing like voiceovers and stuff to explain things. You know, just make it a little bit more meaty.
well, see, the thing is, I don't know if you guys heard of this app called Ghostbox. It's kind of like a spirit box on your phone.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, so we have that downloaded, and that was rolling when the other camera was rolling. So that footage that I accidentally deleted, we actually have it on another app, but you can't see anything. It's just the noise. That's all it is.
Cool.
Oh, interesting.
So,
and
maybe I could pop those noise files into the episode a little bit, and like you said, put footage from old episodes in there, you know, and because, you know, I want all of my team, if they were there and they were working hard on this investigation, I want them to be featured in the episode, you know? So,
absolutely.
I mean, and because Lisa had Kendra and Kara. Kara is one of our newer investigators, and they worked their butt off at this investigation only to have no footage, you know? So, yeah, it's crazy.
That completely bites. We now have the Sek Spirit Seeker here, Kyle.
Hey, fellas,
Hello.
how's it going?
Hi.
Little technical difficulty.
We had a hell of a time getting him on here, but he's finally on here.
I reset. I turned my phone off, turned it back on. Later, I'll reboot.
Nice.
Probably something to do with DuckDuckGo. So,
Kyle, man, tell us about yourself, man. What got you into the paranormal?
kind of funny. I got into it in the very beginning by watching years of Ghost Adventures. And I'm like, okay, these places look cool. Why not? Is this stuff for real? So I bought the basics of stuff and learned what not to buy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to these places. So I asked my girl, I said, hey, you want to start doing this full time? And, doing it every single month when I come home off the road? She's like, yeah, why not? So very first thing I bought was the SB7. That's a whole nother freaking world there. An SLS camera. Yeah. And the very first time we went to Fairfield County Infirmary in Lancaster, Ohio, with the Ghost Hunts USA. And man, horrible. Drunk woman was there, throwing a fit, got thrown out. So I've been just buying up gear left and right, whatnot, researching, and been doing it now, going on every single month for almost 3 years now. All over from Ohio to Michigan to Arkansas, Kansas, Iowa, Oklahoma. So
you've been in the field for 3 years now.
Yep.
Was there like an incident that happened to you in your younger years, like an experience that first got you kind of triggered into the paranormal, or?
Yeah, it started with my family because my sister, house that she grew up in, she raised her family, and my niece and nephew that are adults now and gone away and stuff. they saw stuff in their house, and she's always told me pictures, and my nephew and my niece has, and I hadn't ever seen something, but I've heard stuff because I grew up in an old town. Never once had anything grab me, throw me, or anything preternatural, but I always knew it had a nick for it. You know, I'm like, oh no, I want to do this. I want to see what's out there. And just what we have captured in the last few years has been pretty damn amazing. So
Nice.
you learn more as I go. Every single investigation, another one, that are famous locations that if you name the place, pretty much everybody knows. The Sally House, you know, the Liskax Murder House, you know, different places. The Crescent Hotel in Arkansas. I work out of Arkansas. My company that I work for is out of Bentonville, and Eureka Springs is famous. So yeah, these different places that everybody knows. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go there, and we're going to do it and check it out. So I constantly buy more gear, and I know what not to use and what to use, and like the SB7, no thanks. But I have a custom piece of equipment, a Spirit Portal that I just got today that I had custom made. Took about 3 months to make it, and I'm going to unveil it live on my birthday at Malvern Manor here in a couple weeks on March 6th. So I got some guest investigators coming from Indiana and Ohio to join me, and Jen, my girl, and we're going to have a blast and have my first birthday party investigation at Malvern Manor in Iowa. So,
Dude, that sounds awesome.
yeah, it's going to be a blast. Place is massive. So the last investigation we was at a couple months ago, we went to the so-called famous Post Town Elementary School in Ohio. And yeah, it was a bust. So
What do you mean bust?
I only got one EVP in 15 hours, 16 hours there. One EVP. Yeah, it was very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, that had to be frustrating.
Yeah, I was like, what? You know, we're going back to the Sally House on Friday, May 13th, because we were there last year, and we actually fell asleep and slept for hours, and not one ding, bang, knock, shadow, door slam, nothing evil that the world knows as, you know, there's the devil in the basement, you know. So I booked it for Friday the 13th, so I'm going to give it a round 2 and try again. So very interesting. Going back to Villisca too, Villisca was the most scared I've ever been because some insane stuff happened on us at Villisca, and I want to go back and go for round 2. So
yeah, that sounds like a phenomenal time.
That was the only time in 3 years that I've physically been scared to death because it was insane. We got locked out of the house, the door slammed, and locked 3 of us out of the house on the porch. And when I mean the door slammed, it was a slam from a different dimension. The whole house shook. I don't know how the window didn't explode in the door, but it was the most... You couldn't even do it on your maddest day at your home, and locked us out. And luckily at Villisca, they give you a second key out in the barn to get in because whatever is there has been known to slam the door and lock people out. And then up in the attic where they said the ex-killer stayed and lied in wait for the family and the kids to get home, I got locked in the attic when I was doing a session in the attic, and I had to kick the door open to get the door open. It scared me half to death because a REM pod went absolutely nuts, and Shadow started running around the room with all my lasers because I had every square inch of the room tagged up with lasers, you know, all on video. But yeah, that was one of the most insane places that literally you're like, what is going on here? So I'm ready for round 2.
Oh man!
Now that we know what's there and what we encountered, there's no telling what the other, thousands of people coming through investigating. But the very first EVP that I got when we walked in, there's a grand piano in the living room, the original piano from the house. So I hit ding, ding with the keys on the piano, just seeing if it worked. And I set up a spirit box and I had the camera running and I just went ding, ding. And right immediately out of one of my spirit boxes, right there on the piano said, "Kyle, what is this?" A male. And I didn't even say my name when I walked in the house. Very first EVP out of there.
Nice.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah, kind of make you freak out a little bit. But
Right.
I'm ready to go. It's a very interesting place. The smallest home I've ever been in. There's no electricity, no bathroom, no water. There never has been. There's an extension cord that runs in the bedroom window upstairs on the second floor. And only one person can go up and down the stairs at a time to get up to the second floor where the bedrooms are, because it's that tiny. Very interesting home. But the barn's in the backyard, the original barn. So, and that's where electricity is in the bathroom and Wi-Fi and,
Gotcha.
But, yeah, we got
Yeah.
13, 14 investigations this year starting here on my birthday. So,
Mr. Cass,
Yo.
do you have any questions for Kyle?
Mostly technical questions. I don't understand a lot of this field. As I've said before, I've always wanted to get into it, but I never had a chance to. So I don't know. Do you guys work with Curlian cameras?
with what cameras?
Curlian.
Oh, never heard of them. No, just use the IR GoPros, night vision GoPros,
Gotcha.
IR and infrared. Yeah, those are the only we tried.
What is a curling camera, Cass?
A Curlian camera is a camera that's able to translate non-visible waves into colors and such. If you've ever seen the picture of it'll be like a black picture, and then you'll see like an aura of somebody's hand or something.
Oh.
That's Curlian photography.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so
Yeah.
kind of like those pieces of paper you would get as a kid that were black, and you'd put your hand on it, and it would trace out your hand in all different colors.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds about right.
Interesting, yeah. The other camera I ever use is the SLS, and that's on the fence for everybody in America. Do they believe in them? Do they not? But I've got some pretty compelling stuff with an SLS. But and mine actually doesn't trigger on a chair. I guess there's two versions. I guess I got the better version because they say SLSs will trigger on a chair or a lamp or whatever, but mine never has once. So we've tested it 25, 30 times,
And
different places.
And what is an SLS?
It's a Microsoft X cam that picks up skeleton figures that maps out humans, but yet it has an ability to map out stick figures in broad daylight in these locations. And I've had them raise their hand. The very first test I took on it when I got it 3 years ago, went to an old 1700 cemetery, and I got a woman to show up. I told her, raise your hand. And on video, she raised her hand, hey, pick up your leg.
Okay. I think I've seen stuff like that on YouTube. So
yeah, they made it big on YouTube, and actually Ghost Adventures a few years ago with Bill Chappell really put it on the market. But I was like, wonder if it works. But I've got some pretty cool stuff with it, with other teams visiting that I invite to come with me, real good friends. And, whoa, what in the world?
Right.
But,
So pretty much what the SLS cam is, Cass, is you've seen the Xbox 360 that has connect to it to where your whole body can play games.
Right.
It's one of those connected to a tablet, connected to a power source with an app that you run, and it can pick up on EMF
right there.
and movement of the supernatural and the paranormal.
They're very interesting for sure. It's just
I look
one other
forward to checking them
tool
out.
in the arsenal, you know.
But you went after a
Right,
cat.
right.
But I just
So,
You should know if you don't feel like playing when
in
he
your
comes over anymore,
opinion,
but he does.
Kyle, for a team that's just starting out, what would you recommend that team put in their arsenal
No wonder.
of equipment
Dude,
to start
are
investigating?
you okay?
personally, if I was telling a brand newbie with a new kid, I'd tell him get a good EMF meter, not one off of eBay, because that's no good for $12. Buy a quality EMF meter because that's gonna tell you like electromagnetic frequencies and radio. Mine has a radio active component too, but definitely that. I got a custom made Shadow Seeker today, and I ordered more. I got a guy that builds my equipment for me. Shadow alarm, motion alarm for in the pitch dark,
Right.
because it'll pick up anything that you can't see with the visible eye. And the one I just tested tonight for a few minutes works. And definitely a good voice recorder. I had a voice recorder that I've used, but you couldn't plug it into a computer. So I just spent the money last month and bought a new Sony one that everybody seems to like in the field that actually has a built-in USB. Because you'd be surprised what EVPs you get just by asking a question and listening to it later. And I run them through Audacity. I asked probably, 50, 75 people, what system do you use? And it seems that Audacity is one of the top ones.
Yeah, Audacity is really, really good for a lot of different things. I'll be really honest. I plan to get it as soon as I can afford it. Yeah, thank you for explaining what a Shadow Seeker is. In my line of work, that means something completely different.
It's absolutely awesome. Have you ever seen one? I can show it to you. It's right here. My guy in Illinois built it for me. I can't show you what else I got because I'm unveiling it on my birthday. But this is the Shadow Seeker Pro. He designs them. But it's motion and shadow, and it shoots out 40 feet, and it goes right off in the dark. And it's got a quarter 20 on the back to put it on a tripod.
Cool.
But it's amazing. And it's loud, So, yep. Just something from Arsenal. Because anything that can help you in the dark when you can't even see your hand in front of your face while you're recording, I like,
Absolutely. So, in your experiences, man, what has been the most horrific moment for you and your team in an investigation?
Hands down, the Velisca X murder house. I tell it, that was the most effed up thing I've ever done. Because what happened with having the door slammed, going out of the house and locking us out, and being locked in the closet when there's zero electricity, zero air conditioning, nothing. The house is pitch dark. And I had to kick the door open to get out of the attic. I mean, there was that, and then my favorite location, actually, besides that, but it was fun and it was joking all night, was at the Crescent Hotel. First time we went to Theodore's room, the famous maid that the doctor killed. She stole Jenny's hair tie, literally disappeared out of thin air. She steals women's hair ties. She likes hair ties. Swear to God.
That's
pretty
funny.
cool.
That's cute.
And then the second time we went to Michael's room, 218, which was a 16-year-old Irish stonemason that fell off the top of the building when they were building it. And he landed on a beam across the second floor, which is in room 218, an oak beam in the ceiling that's still there. And he likes to play around and have fun. So we spent a whole night with him on spirit boxes and SLS camera and videotaped him having a blast kicking it with me and Jen, talking to her, talking to me. And then the funny thing is, 3 times in a row, he told me, come with me, I'll show you some cool stuff, show you something cool, whatever, on the spirit box I was using then. I've got a few of them. He ran through the wall. And then not 5 seconds later, come on, bro. I said, dude, I can't run through walls yet, bro. And he said, ha, ha, ha. He came back out of the wall. All of this is on video on SLS. He said, dude, come on. I said, dude, I can't. Talking like we're talking now, and ran back through the wall. I said, dude, I can't do it. It was the coolest time of our life. And then I thought we were going to get thrown out because I used a fog machine, set up a fog machine to watch him walking around the room. Well, I set off the fog machine, had the lasers going. Good time. Fog machine set off fire alarms. So I set off the fire alarm in the room, which made me almost have a cardiac attack. I jumped up on the dresser, barefooted with a towel from the bathroom, trying to wave the towel in front of the fire alarm, freaking out because it won't shut off. Phone's ringing. It's downstairs. You're burning the place down, blah, blah. Pounding on the door. Bam, bam, bam. Security's pounding on the door. Open the door. I'm like, oh, fuck. Open the door. Hey, sorry. The room's filled with smoke. It's a fog machine. He goes, what the hell's going on? I'm like, we're ghost hunting. I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. He's like, is the room on fire? I'm like, no, it's a fog machine, damn it. The whole time, Jen has the Phasma box running on her laptop, and a little girl comes through. She's laughing. She goes, it's dusty in here. I said, it's not dusty, damn it. The security guard didn't know what to say. He thought we were burning the place to the ground. I'm having a freaking panic attack. Scared the shit out of me. They're laughing. Smoke's rolling down the hallway, but it's fog, you know. I couldn't get the alarm to shut off. Absolutely hilarious. One of the coolest times ever. But it was all jovial, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. When they're playful like that and they can reach across to the other side, that is a good time.
It was one of the craziest nights we've ever had.
I am envious, bro.
Dude said, come on, come with me. I said, dude, hold up, I can't, bro. And he walked back out of the wall. Come on, dude. I said, I can't. And he went through the wall. Whoop! SLS stick figure walked through the wall and disappeared. I said, dude, I can't. Oh, yeah, craziest night ever.
That's exactly why I want to do stuff like you guys do. You know, it would be great to have some kind of technological evidence or recording. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And unfortunately, I'm a technophobe. So I'm like...
Oh, me too. I just had a custom spirit box made. It took him 3 months to make it. I just got it today. I had him overnight it to me, UPS yesterday.
Okay, so for the audience, not for me, I totally know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
For the audience, could you tell us what a spirit box is?
It's a radio frequency generator that scans forwards, backwards, or randomly, runs off the megahertz cycle in frequencies, and it runs from 1 hertz to 150 hertz.
Nice.
And it runs in 7 different speeds that you set, but you can set the low end on the frequency you want and the high end, so it only bounces from 1 hertz to 2 hertz or 1 to 150, but it hits every 1/10 of a hertz between each full number, 1 and 2, 3, 4. So 1.1, 1.2, 1.3.
So
but you can,
as close as you can come to a full spectrum audio recording.
Exactly. And
nice.
I've been studying, and I can set it from 1 hertz to 87.9, where there's no human transmissions for that, or I can jump 108.1 to 150. So I take out where the human transmissions are on Earth. So you're not having any radio, any talk shows, anywhere.
See, that was going to be my next question.
Exactly.
Nice. See,
because it's quiet as a mouse.
And you see, that's the problem with the spirit box in general, is as it goes through the frequencies.
Yep.
A lot of people misconstrue that, you know, somebody from the radio station it's actually paranormal.
Or you're on church, you know, praise the Lord. Oh my God, I just said praise the Lord. No, it didn't. Yeah.
God, is that you?
Speaking of the SB7, I mean, I'm the first to tell everybody, if there was one thing that if I would have had a brain and realized don't buy it, was the SB7. I used it one time and I haven't touched it since. I absolutely hate it.
And what's that?
The very basic what Ghost Adventures made famous, your basic AM FM radio. Yeah, for $100.
Cassidy knows that one.
Yeah. And if I would have known, I wouldn't have ever bought it because I used it one time at that Ghost Hunts Fairfield investigation, the public investigation. That was a complete disaster. I'm like, all right, no, I'm not doing it. Then I had another guy that builds custom spirit boxes, and I used it. But I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Then I met another guy. I tend to meet guys that make ITC devices. So,
well, like attracts like. Consciousness works that
right.
way. You'll start to meet, like for example, you at home. If you get into anime, right? Pretty soon you'll start to meet other people who are into anime.
Yep.
Same thing with D&D, Star Wars, any zeitgeist kind of thing.
I'm addicted to Star Wars. My son's name's Anakin. He passed away when he was born, so I've got all Star Wars tattoos. R2D2, C3PO, Ewok Commander, Darth Vader, twice. but yeah, this is what I spend my life doing. I drive trucks over the road and come home a couple days of the month, and we go investigate a cool place. I book all the locations, do all the research. I'm like, hey, honey, we're going here. Okay, cool. So
that's awesome.
Just plan it all out and rock and roll. Because I stay extremely busy, so.
See, that is so cool and extremely brave what you guys do.
Yeah. I drove 11,000 miles in January. One of the busiest Januaries I've ever had. Drove 10,987 miles.
Nice.
So nice. I stay pretty busy. So I do a form of shipping that 3/4 of people don't know about. It's custom critical expedite shipping, so I'm not your normal semi. It's a whole different ball game. So,
right.
But been doing it since 2008.
One of the things that continuously surprises me is why your people in your profession don't have a higher attrition rate. This is pretty dangerous what you guys do.
Oh, it's brutal. So, head-on collisions and drunk driving. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Well, you got to figure,
but also truck driving.
In the truck driving industry, everybody's out to get you, brother. There ain't nobody out there that's your friend. You got shippers and receivers against you, boy. They want their stuff either shipped on time, received on time, and you got the brokers out to get you. You got your dispatcher out to get you. And I'll tell you, the easiest way to tell when a dispatcher is lying to you is when they open their mouth.
right.
Then you got DOT after you,
and a dispatcher.
It's just everybody's out to get you.
Oh yeah. Just like the dispatcher that tells you, hey, I got a good run for you going to Brooklyn. Oh, yeah, that don't go in a sentence together.
Yeah, no, that never fits together.
I've been to Brooklyn one time. It was my very first load with my CDL permit. And that was in 2008, and I'll never go again. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Took me 14 hours to get out of Brooklyn back over to Philadelphia.
This is a good question right here. This question here is the reason pretty much why I do what I'm doing today right there.
Right. It's funny, too, late at night, anything you see out on the road. I'm down in South Texas on the border every week in the border towns. And there's a lot of stuff that you just have to what? Because down on the border, a lot of stuff have happened. And being in Laredo and McAllen, Brownsville and whatnot, there's quite a few hot spots. One of them is La Posada Hotel in Laredo, and that was a scene of a mission where a priest killed 12 or 13 nuns. I guess they were bad, whatever, and left him laying in the courtyard of what is the hotel, and that's a pretty cool hot spot. But down in South Texas, there's a lot of really cool. Just makes you look like, what? I take one of my custom spirit boxes with me, my nano box from KD Stafford out of Kansas City. I keep it with me just in case I ever want to hop out of the truck and go check something out. I'm like, fuck. So the key is just never see the black dog. But most people have never seen, what's a black dog? I'm like, I don't want to look at it. So
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not good news. The black dog
Right.
goes all the way back to the 1700s.
Right.
So yeah, and he's crossed borders. The black dog is no bueno.
Yeah. And one thing I have wanted to go do, and I lived in Chicago for 3 years, working for an outfit out of Chicago, and the famous Archer Street ghost from the cemetery there, and famous in Chicago. She was a bride. She was killed by a car when she left her wedding there on Archer Street. World famous in Chicago. The woman in white. I've always wanted to go experience that, and I haven't yet because thousands of people have seen it, you know. And there's stories, and there's pictures, and there's videos, and Resurrection Mary. So she's walking down the street every day between where she was married and when she came out when she was killed, and where the cemetery is Resurrection Cemetery. But years ago, they dug her up and moved her when they did something weird with the cemetery, and now they say she's wandering because she can't find her new gravesite. But I know that's always been on my hit list. But you'd obviously have to go down there in an Uber and then stay at a hotel close by because, well, you don't go to downtown Chicago. But
Yeah, they call it Chirac for.
yeah, sure, right. Yeah, it's good times. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of the hot spots I'd love to check out, and I never got to yet. But yeah, you see some cool stuff out on the road. And sometimes, you know, out in Arizona and New Mexico, you're driving across the desert in the middle of the night, and you see something out of the corner of your eye, and you can't, you know, it's very interesting what you see, and yet there's no telling what you go by that you don't even realize it. You know, I think about that, you know, in the middle of the night. What is, you know, what's out here? It's very interesting. Just like one of the things I've always been interested in, the movie 13 Ghosts, right? He put on the glasses and he could see the things that were killing him, the ghosts.
Right.
I've always wondered, if you had those glasses, would you want to see what you're communicating with? Or would you just leave it be? And then if you saw whatever you're looking at, what would you see? Would you see something like 13 Ghosts? Or would it be a little old lady that's 95 in a white dress? You know what I mean?
Well, you know, that's always the question, you know. I mean, if you could see a spirit for what they actually were, you know, I mean, would you see some spirits, you know, that have been beheaded? You know, would you see a spirit walking around without a head, you know, or what would you see?
Exactly.
And I've always kind of been fascinated about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wouldn't want to, because it's always, you know, a lot of times you see a little old lady or a little, you're like, is that really, you know, you just don't even know. But that's just one of the movies I've always been like, what would happen if you really had those glasses, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of them, you know. And it's crazy, you know, the places we go to. We go to insane asylums, infirmaries, hotels, houses where 9 people were killed in with an axe. You know, all these different places. The house the devil lives in the basement, you know.
So Melissa wants to know, first of all, do you drive alone?
Yeah, I'm always by myself.
And then the next question coming from David, he says, what about distinct voices coming through your radio in your semi?
I've never once got anything on a radio because I don't listen. I guess what you call radio. I listen to XM radio, so I don't even have AM FM going.
Well,
But
I
no,
think what you mean by that is through your CB.
I don't even have a CB in the truck. There's not even a place for it.
So let me tell you, in my career, I drove for 17 years over the road as a semi driver.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, I had a CB radio, and I also used AM FM band before the satellite radio was out.
Yep.
And I could only remember one distinct location that my AM FM radio was affected, and that was up on Highway 666 here in Arizona before they changed it.
Oh wow! Yep.
So
Damn, Area 51, right?
Well, Area 51 is considerably farther west than Route 666 was in Arizona. That's up in near the Four Corners area in Arizona. So,
But yeah, I've never got anything weird. But, you know, I've often wondered, too, you know, coming out of places and stuff. You know, because sometimes the hair raises up on your arm or whatever. Like, this is freaking weird, you know? Especially when it's pitch dark in the middle of the night and you're in the middle of nowhere.
mm-hmm.
You know, you're just like, I've seen a few things. There's just like, what was that? But people ask me all the time, you know, all the miles that you drove. Have you seen a UFO? I've never once seen anything resembling a UFO a day in my life. And I flew in the Army for a job in the Army.
That's one of the things that I think I probably experienced more out on the road at night, because I drove team, and the way my co-driver and I, we worked it was we ran a 12-hour shift, 6 a to 6 p and vice versa. Yep. And I was always 6 p to 6 a.m. So I was always night driving. And I can tell you that, you know, driving at night a lot, I see a lot of stuff in that sky. You know, I didn't see a whole lot, you know, by haunting side of things, but I've seen a lot of stuff in that sky.
One thing I do use, though, which is kind of funny, is FlightAware. I'll randomly look, what kind of airplanes are flying around? Just some random app, you know? But, yeah, you know, I've had quite a few people ask me, you see ghosts and stuff? Do you see UFOs? No, actually, I never have once. And I was a Black Hawk crew chief in the Army when I was 17 years old to 20. And never once saw anything that was like, what the fuck was that? Which is surprising, you know, for as much as I flew, because I flew 7 days a week in the Army. That's what you do. I rode in a helicopter, did my job, you know, but never once. I think it would be fun to go, like, to say Skinwalker Ranch and see what the whole UFO thing is, because the show went off on a weird tangent. I watched first season. There's still a bunch more, but I'm just like, no. It went from skinwalkers to UFOs, which are random. But I think it'd be cool to go out there and check it out.
Yeah, what would you guys think about investigating places like Skinwalker?
I'd do it if you could, but you can't. So,
you know, we got a guy. I was going to say, we actually have a guy in our organization that has an in on that we are at. We're actually planning that.
Going to Skinwalker?
Sorry if I spoiled it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because they were talking about it on the show. They're like, no, you can't come here, and they had a security team. And I was like, interesting.
Well, and they're actually correct. They're actually correct. But, you know, once you got that in, then you don't worry about
once you got it. Yeah, once you got it in, for sure. One of the places I tried to get into that I've always been drawn to was Nopiming Sanitarium. It's next door to Canada, way up there in Wisconsin, Minnesota, a place way up by Canada. And I asked on Google a couple years ago, how do you get into Nopiming to do a documentary investigation? What, a minute and a half later, I got a message back on Google from the person that said he was the owner of Nopiming. I'm like, oh, shit, right on. But he said, you cannot go in there. I have it gated off because it's fallen into such horrible disrepair. I can't let anybody in. Ghost Adventures was there like 5, 6, 7 years ago, quite a while ago. And I hear Destination Fear was there too at some point. But he said, yeah, I can't let you in because that place is massive. And I think it would be a blast. Just like Waverly Hills. I've never been to Waverly Hills yet. I've been on my bucket list to check it out once, you know. Just like Brushy Mountain. Brushy Mountain is supposed to be pretty legit, too. So, in Tennessee. But, yeah, there's places to go. But, yeah, I got a full yearbook this year. So, 13 or 14 of them.
So if you had a bucket list, now, what would your top 10 places be?
On a bucket list, the top places: the Conjuring House, Amityville House, Alcatraz, and probably St. Augustine Lighthouse, because that place has a pretty interesting story.
Nice.
Not a lot of people go to Florida. I go there quite a bit, but I haven't got a chance to go to St. Augustine. I've been to Miami a few times, Key West a few times, mostly hauling Verizon cell phone tower components that get hit by lightning, because that's how they get destroyed in South Florida, because of the lightning storms. But one of these days I want to go, but that's definitely on my bucket list for sure. But
I think for me it would have to be Valley of the Kings out in Egypt, and the reason I say that is because the Egyptians. I think that's going to be where we get a lot of answers, not just on the haunting side of things, but I think really the key that fits everything together, I really want to say, is in Egypt. I could be wrong, but I really feel the focus to basically pulling all of this together, and the answers we're looking for, I believe, are right there.
Agreed.
definitely. Look at the pictures they drew, the hieroglyphs. They drew UFOs. They drew things coming down from outer space. I mean, they drew some interesting stuff.
For me, I would have to say the Suicide Forest in Japan.
Oh, yep. You don't ever hear about that much since that TikTok or YouTube, whatever that guy was that got in all that trouble. Yeah, that's definitely one. I forgot all about that place. Very interesting.
I would love to venture in on like a 3-5 day adventure, and just see what the hype is all about.
Yep, with backpack and tent and MREs.
Yep. Just good old fashioned old school hiking and camping.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting for sure. Just like the people that go off looking for Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, in Pacific Northwest. People go off hiking and do that kind of stuff. But have you ever done that or no?
I had a couple of guys that were interested. We had started a team, and we unfortunately never got to go out as a team. And as quickly as it started, it disbanded.
Right.
But there have been a lot of sightings up near, what's the name of that place? Pretty much just up north of Spokane.
Up towards Canada?
Up towards Canada, yeah. There's been a lot of sightings through there. And between Oregon, or between Washington, Idaho, and Montana, just in a 150-mile radius around, there have been a lot of sightings as well. And I personally would absolutely love to go Bigfoot hunting. That would be great.
I think it'd be cool to go Mothman searching for the story of the Mothman.
Yeah, that's an interesting story too.
Yep. Very interesting. And then, some people, talk about the lore of rakes, banshees and stuff in places that were known for voodoo in Louisiana and down south, There's a whole lot of stuff that's out there that's been written about for thousands of years. Pictures drawn, but you don't ever really hear about it. Like I said, one thing I always wanted to do, a trip and go to a mine or a cave and lock down in a mine or a cave and check out the lore of the Tommyknockers. Take some fake gold and silver, diamonds and stuff, because they don't like you taking their stuff, that's the lore. But I think that would be a cool investigation to go check out.
The Tommyknockers, that's a heck of a good story right there. And, we say story
3 times, and,
Yeah, well, we say story, but I don't think it's stories at all. I think there's a lot to it, man.
There's some great documentaries about it. Literally knocking with an iron ore hammer, bam, 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 and they get back, boom, boom, boom. Like, what in the hell,
Mm-hmm.
And they're a mile down,
I'm telling you what, right now, you will never get my 6'5", 380-pound ass in or anywhere near a mine.
I got one in my yard. Mine that opened up. Yeah, it's out back in the corner of my yard.
I have to agree with Brian on that. There's no way you're going to get me in these shafts 900 foot below ground. Let's face it, that thing caves in. It just became your final tomb.
All right. Right.
They're not coming after you. They're not pulling you out of there. Forget it. It's over.
All right. Hopefully you're live streaming. All right, dude, I'm out.
It all depends on the cave.
Right.
There's some I'll go to. There's some you will not get me anywhere near the entrance of.
That's just like the ones where my friend lives out in Virginia City, Nevada. You can't go in them, and they're world famous. Goldfield mine, and because it might collapse. Oh well, it might get hit by a car.
There is a very significant amount of high strangeness going on underground. A lot of people don't notice it because they get the UFOs and the USOs get so much attention. Yeah. But there's stuff going on in those caves that's going to be very, very relevant to people very, very soon.
Look at Antarctica. Why can't you go to Antarctica? That's weird. What are they hiding under the ice? I mean, you watch Transformers. I mean, he put it right there in front of your face. Michael Bay did. When Homeboy came out of Antarctica of the ice, why did he come up with that? You know what I'm saying? And that's been written about since Dude on the Boat went way back in the day,
I was going to say, have you ever heard of Admiral Perry and his expedition? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that guy's correct, and he was a man of honor, if he's correct, you got an eye of tropical, dinosaur magic land in there. So I'd like to check that out sometime.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Why does Google censor it? Why do why
exactly?
If there's nothing there, why does the Google? Yeah, it just
Google Earth. Yeah, why is it all weird? Right? Because I drive for 11 hours and then sleep for 10 hours, and I have a whole lot of time on my hands to watch stuff. So I watch videos, I watch documentaries, I watch all this stuff to see, okay, what's up with this place? Just a couple of days ago, I spent 6 hours watching all the documentaries online about Malvern Manor for my birthday and wrote down every single room, what ghost is in the room, what happens there, how does it go down, So I had a checklist for when I go. Okay, room 7 was this, 8 was this, 21, I literally spent my night getting ready for this investigation because it's massive. It's 33,000 square feet. Massive.
To answer David, that's one of the problems with looking for Sasquatch is, like your species, Sasquatches are natural mimics. So, a lot of the longtime Sasquatch hunters will agree with this. Basically, they can make any sound the forest can make. Yeah. So there's lots of other things that we need to do a proper Sasquatch investigation.
Yeah, I've watched some investigations. They knocked on trees with tree limbs and, all kinds of stuff, Like, what was that?
Yeah. Sasquatch are basically descended from a species your scientists know as Astropithecus, which essentially is one part of... My cat's climbing up my leg.
Right?
Oh, Jesus.
I had a dog on me a little bit ago. I was like, get away.
You know my pain.
Right?
But part of the primate brain structure that makes up this entire family that you guys are part of, and as well as Sasquatch, is natural mimicry. It's what allowed your species, your family, to rise above and survive.
Just like the stories of the Nephilim. I send my mom stuff all the time on the Nephilim and the Anunnaki. What's this? What's this? Check this out. Look at these giants in the mountains. I sent her all the world's 8 or 9 mountains that look like the pictures of them that look like a giant's face right there on Google. And I'm like, here you go. Here's But yeah, I have a lot of time on my hands, so I spend it researching when I'm not driving. So.
Yeah, Melissa brings up a good question.
Very,
What about all the shipwrecks that have happened? Do you believe the oceans can be haunted? I'm gonna go off on a little story with this.
Heck yeah!
I had a guy by the name of Chet Kasky that I was working with doing haunted tours around Spokane, and there was a bridge that collapsed that had a trolley on it, and it plummeted into the Spokane River, and 15, 25 people died in that. And me and Chet were going to find a way to get me a wetsuit with a microphone connected to it and somehow find a case to where, you know, the EVP recorder could be heard.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually going to go under water in the Spokane River and do an investigation. You know, we have what we call here Suicide Bridge, where over 200 people have jumped and plummeted 200 feet into the Spokane River.
Wow.
So I personally believe that any body of water at any given time could in fact be haunted.
Oh, for sure. Just like all the shipwrecks and stuff, because a lot of stuff was going down when some boats were going underwater. World War I, World War II, you know, shipping wars, just like pirates that have sunk shipping containers. And, I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff. People don't even talk about the cruise ships, too. People
Like the
die on
Titanic?
cruise ships every day, you know?
Yep. Like the Titanic.
Yeah. I got a good friend of mine that lives on cruises. I do paranormal investigations. He's addicted to cruises. You know, like, yeah, 4 people died on the cruise while I was out this time. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah.
So Brian, David's got a good idea for your audio recorder, taking it underwater, brother.
Sandwich baggie. Yeah, there you go. Ziploc.
Yep. They just did that on Sleepless Unrest on the documentary that just came out from my friends at River Bend Paranormal. They put the audio recorder, they vacuum sealed it in a bag and put it down in the well in the basement of the Conjuring house underwater and left it for a day running, recording. And a EVP REM pod vacuum seal that's on Sleepless Unrest. Yeah, they put it in a vacuum seal bag and put it underwater for a day, recording.
Wow.
Because of the hole with water in it. Yeah, there you go. Had a lot of weird stuff happen. Hey, turtle. Yeah, it was very interesting. But yeah, they just did that on Sleepless Unrest when they went out there and spent 2 weeks and slept in the house and recorded 24 hours a day pickups for 2 weeks. Killer documentary. Absolutely killer.
Did they get anything interesting out of the well?
That's one thing I was just asking my buddy Tim with Riverbend. He's one of their co-partners out of the Indiana chapter. They didn't put any of that in the documentary, but they showed them and they talked about it and they vacuum sealed it and they put it under the water for a day. And I just asked him, squirrel, right? What did they get out of there? Because it was very interesting, because it's funny that, they said that. So it just goes to show you can vacuum seal that stuff and put it underwater, because it worked, because you could hear the audio when they were putting it under the water and sinking it in the bottom of the well. I mean, I was like...
It should be noted that one of the things that like NASA and the higher level individual organizations are aware of is that the molecular structure of water specifically allows for the transmutation of consciousness and whatnot. That's one of the reasons why waterways are very often so very haunted. You know, it's just the nature of water. You see what I mean? It's a molecular structure thing. So, you know, it makes me very happy to hear that they're doing stuff like that. That could be very, very good for the industry.
Yep. Just like at Bobby Mackey's, there's a well in Bobby Mackey's in the basement that I haven't got to go to yet, but my friend's got pretty wide open access to it. He's friends with the guy himself personally. He goes and hangs out with him just for fun. But yeah, I'd like to do that whole same thing again in the basement of Bobby Mackey's in Kentucky. You know, the haunted bar that was a brothel. It's pretty famous.
Let me know what happens, okay? I would appreciate that.
Very interesting. I say that because here just a few weeks ago, one of the mines opened up in my yard over here. I live in a town of 5 people, but it was a mining town for 1700s, 1800s. And that's all it was coal mining. And I was out back messing around on my yard on the property off to the side in the back. And a legit mine shaft opened up. over the winter. And there's a hole I could get both of my legs in, but it's got the mine wood in it. That was the structure of it from the 1800s. That's calcified wood from a mine from that old. And I've thought about putting a voice recorder down there, my IR GoPro, vacuum sealing everything. And I'm thinking about doing it and putting it on. I don't know how deep it is. It could be 50 foot. It could be 100 foot. But I thought about putting 100 foot of rope and trying it to see what happens, because I don't even know what's in it. I found it on accident. I'm like, oh, snap. This ain't good. But
I would definitely do that.
Very
There's
interesting.
all sorts of cool experiments you can do with that too. I mean, if the calcification happened, in that period of time, then this is going to sound a little bit weird, but you can actually get like, as it were, like fossilized recordings. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's very weird. I'm like, holy shit, this is real wood. So, bing bong, best meme ever. But I found it on accident. I'm like, oh snap. And so I started asking a few of my friends. I'm like, hey, do you think I could shrink wrap one of my Ghost Stop GoPros with the IR light and audio recorder? But the thing is, they're like, make sure you do it right, so it don't come off of the rope. However you attach it, and then you just lost your shit in 100-foot hole.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, because there'd be no way of retrieving it. So I don't know yet how I do it, but I know I can do it. So I'm thinking about doing it sometime to check it out. But
honestly, what I would do is I would find a way to put like some sort of hooking mechanism on it, so that way, the only way to lose the equipment is if something took it off the hook,
right?
Or if it was pulled hard enough to where it would snap the hook.
Yep.
But
cool, yeah.
You sound like a fantastic paranormal team to watch. Where can we go to watch your videos?
I put a lot of them on my TikTok, little pieces of EVPs and everything that I'm doing at all these locations. And I'm at Kyle Wagner 15 on TikTok. I got a bunch of videos on there. And I post everything on our Sek Spirit Seekers on Facebook. And I have a YouTube, but I only have a few videos, and mostly those are from the Crescent from Michael's room, the dude that ran through the wall.
Right.
But I need to, this year, get a lot more stuff put on YouTube, because I blow up TikTok like crazy. But like I said, I've got 13, 14 investigations starting here in a couple weeks, all year long, every single month. So I'm going to have a ton of mind-blowing stuff to do it.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I got a brand new GoPro camera, GoPro from Ghost Stop, and I got my new audio recorder that I get to take for the first time. Bought these Shadow Seekers, bought a couple of IR torches, and my new portal. So I've been buying a whole lot of gear. My thing is that one of my favorite techniques while investigating is going where nobody else is. Everybody seems to run around together and stuff. I go completely on the other side of the property, go where nobody else is, because there's a very high chance that when the ghosts, per se, see 10 people, 5 people coming in as a group, they take off running and they go to the other part of the world. You know what I'm saying? So go where nobody else is. Shut yourself in a room, lock yourself in a room, and set up your station and see what you can do. Because I bet when you go in places with 5 people, they would be just like we are and confused, like, who the fuck are these dudes? And peace out, So I go looking for them. Might as well, right?
Oh, you have a good point there, Kyle. If you go into a place and you have, a group of 4 or more, these spirits are going to be intimidated at first, and they're going to scatter to the winds.
Yeah.
So
they're all screaming. Why are they loud?
Is, if you have like a group of 8 per se,
Yep.
Break off into 4 groups of 2 or 2 groups of 4 and go out in separate directions and, cover more ground that way.
Oh, cool. And doing these lockdowns where I lock myself in a room, I'm going to do a new, I'm making a name for myself in that I've got a piece of equipment I'm going to unveil, but I'm thinking about getting a straight jacket. And because we're going to 3-4 asylums this year, and locking down in the rooms where they put you in a room and lock the door with a padlock in a straitjacket when you're having an episode, whatever, and doing sessions in there, physically locked with a padlock in a room in a straitjacket with spirit box running, shadow machines, and all your stuff, and recording it for sessions to do like my own thing. My friend calls it a fear challenge because he does his own fear challenge that everybody knows about. So, and he locked himself in a room. When we were at Post Town a couple months ago, the school, we locked him in a classroom for an hour, with a bag over his head, chains locked around him, chained to a chair, and he sets up with a spirit box and all the equipment, and fear challenge. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. Going out of the box and doing cool stuff, that's like all me, So
That sounds, very interesting. It almost kind of sounds like the I forget what they call it, but you
insanity
blindfold and you blindfold somebody and put a pair of headphones on them.
Oh yeah, Estes method. Yeah.
And, you have the other person who's running the spirit box asking questions, and then the person with the headphones is saying whatever, comes out.
Right. Yep. My own personal Estes method for sure. For sure. And you record it on a GoPro.
Backwards.
Pretty awesome.
Right on, man.
I'm excited for this new voice recorder. So I got the new Sony, really nice voice recorder. That way I can plug it straight into the laptop and go right into Audacity to post it, and cut out everything else. But I'm learning to work faster to get stuff going faster when it comes to editing and all that stuff. I had to buy new cameras because 3 of my cameras didn't work with the IR lights and they were garbage. And I did like 4 or 5 investigations and they worked with picture but no sound, and so now I'm in line with new cameras, new IR lights, everything that I know for a fact works. I bought a Ghost Stop to know I can film and get the audio and be good to go. Because one thing, you have to learn how to build your stuff, and it's come a long way over the last couple of years. So,
I don't know if you've heard about this site yet, but have you heard about the Parapost Network? Okay, so what the Parapost Network is it's a Facebook-like atmosphere, but it's a platform specifically designed for the paranormal field with absolutely no drama, no BS. You can connect your YouTube to it so you can upload your videos, and it's an all-around great site to use. You can upload investigations on there. You can meet all sorts of other paranormal teams, people like us. And all you got to do is go to your app store on your phone and just type in Parapost Network, and that little ghost up there in the right-hand corner will appear. And it works for Apple, it works for Android, laptops, or computers. And yeah, dude, I'm on there myself.
Interesting.
And I would definitely recommend it to everybody.
Sorry, dogs went nuts. Yeah, one thing I've noticed is people post a lot of stuff and then they get a lot of flack over it. Just like the orb thing. I've never once got into orbs. I'm not into orbs. I don't post pictures of orbs, you know. So, yeah, you notice a lot of people catch flack.
I get in trouble debunking orbs.
Really? Yeah, you know, some people post 1,000 orb or dust, you know. I never once. I'm strictly EVPs and other, like, holy shit. The day after, you got a puppy dog too. I got a big one. This is Bowser. Where's Bowser? Bowser. Hi, Bowser. He's a big one. Hi, baby boy. Big boy. He's our baby.
Well, Kyle, it has been fantastic talking to you, brother.
You too.
And,
It's been awesome meeting you guys.
You know, before we end the show, I would like to ask if you wouldn't mind just staying in the back for a few minutes after the show ends. I'd actually like to talk to you about a couple of things.
For sure.
But
I got a puppy dog.
Eldon, Cass, do you have any more questions before we end the show?
No, man, let's go right into it, man.
All right. Well, for everybody that didn't hear me before, if you want to go to a platform that is no drama, specifically for paranormal investigators and the paranormal field in general, go to Parapost Network. You can find it in your app store. It works for Android, Apple, laptop, computers. And if you don't want the app, you can just go to parapost.net and get your account going from there. And it's also free to download. And every ShadowZone podcast and Global United is sponsored by Ghost Energy Drink. If you're a paranormal investigator and you're running low on energy, grab yourself a Ghost Energy Drink and rehydrate your paranormal energy. Well, from all of us here at ShadowZone, for Cass, Eldon, myself, thank you very much, Kyle, from the SEK Spirit Hunters, for coming on.
Heck yeah. Awesome
And,
meeting you guys.
Don't forget, we got you booked for another one as well, buddy.
Yep, and that's the day before we lock down on the second floor of the Limp Mansion in St. Louis.
Beautiful. All right, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Talk to you
Be
later.
safe. Always.